see. Make a picture on all four corners. How can we help you?
So obviously you can actually see some of the planks.
Yeah.
Not good. So obviously we want to. And I also want you to just take a look at it. Tell me what are the things I need to fix here.
Yeah.
And also stain the end, right? I don't know. Do you do you deck stain it?
Yes.
Okay.
We do.
Okay.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a software engineer.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I used to teach computer science.
Okay.
And I was going to tell you that this is not rocket science.
Okay.
Which live in the world of what's reasonable, and you can see that your railing is pitched up a little.
Yep.
It's split. A nail backing out is an easy solution because we just smack it in. And then you can see splitting, which is a potential hazard for your child as well as your family. That's not good. And you can see rot and those things. Nails is not good, but if it's already nailed, and much like I tell some of my customers, all of my customers, when they start talking about this kind of stuff, is where do you stop?
Okay.
And only you can tell me that because those boards don't look bad.
Okay.
I mean, I look at them.
This is what I was actually thinking.
Yeah.
Right. Obviously, this does not look good. At least not the top plank. Right.
I agree.
Let's replace that one. And so see, this one is actually just I don't know.
Sure.
It's not
the professional engineers will say that is exactly the test.
Yeah. Okay.
Is you get in the middle of the span and you bump it like you've had a beer too many.
Okay.
You know, and not try to knock it down, but it's holding me.
Okay.
So I would agree the top board could be removed and replaced. Let me get a measurement on this guy.
Okay.
So that we've got our ducks in a row when we buy materials. It's a 12, that's a 10, but you see it's short.
Okay.
So just to get that extra quarter of an inch so we can get that tip, we'd have to buy 12 foot.
Okay.
And that's an error. Unless I can come back here a little.
Yeah, so basically the other thing is there was some problem. Basically, as you can actually see, it was not it's not perfect, right? So what we did, basically our own engineering is basically we put a plank here so that it acts as a support. Right?
Oh my God, I see now.
Okay.
Look at this.
Right, so obviously I want to remove that.
Oh yeah.
Right? I want to remove it, probably even take this 4x4 out because there is a split right at the end.
Yeah.
Right? Take the 4x4, maybe put a different 4x4 and also bolt it in. Because they didn't actually see, if you look at that one, right? I
agree. And I'm going to tell you, a deck that I build for you, it will not have one bolt, it'll have two.
Okay.
So essentially, that we will have two much like that. And let's remove and replace. Let's make sure this is a 36 inch.
Okay.
And it's supposed to be by code minimum, and it's pretty close.
Okay.
So we got 36 inches above the band. It'll run down the face of the band. That should be 7.5 on a 2x8, and it is 7.5 on a 2x8. So
what is 2x8 here?
The 2x8 is the board that I'm touching.
Ah, okay.
Right there.
Okay.
And mine is going to run down the face.
Okay.
So that you've got two. And that's a carriage bolt. It's galvanized. It's a 1/2 inch, so that we can provide some relief for this rather extraordinary. That's a little bit of a nice piece of leverage you got there. Now, Bachi, when I look at these boards from the outside, you can see it's a rather reckless splitting, and here it's got 1, 2, 3, 4 fasteners in it, some nails and some screws.
Okay, which one are we talking about?
Well, that guy has got
this one, right?
Nails and screws, and this one split, and I'm okay with it.
No. So I was also thinking about replacing some of the spindles in there.
Okay.
Right. So obviously, see, some of the screws are the ones that I did, right? So basically, this was a project probably a year back where we had at least like 10 or 15 spindles were not that good. So we went and then replaced it. and we use screws instead of nails because it actually.
You're smarter. You're smarter than the contractor that built it. And at some point here again, that if we're doing board A, B, select C's, and these are 86 cents a piece.
Okay. Okay.
Which is it's not. And let's count them here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 22 of them, so that's probably $25 of materials.
Okay.
This interior 2x4 here is 10 foot, which is $7 roughly.
Okay.
And at some point, diminishing returns warrants the remove and replace of the entire rail.
Okay.
And here again, that's a suggestion. I do what you want.
Okay.
But what that does is it stops us from which ones do you want and which ones do you don't, because you're split pretty good here and you've got a couple out. But if you can say, Lee, I only want 4 of those 22 boards out.
Yeah, so I was actually thinking, okay, these are all at an angle, so basically replace these 4. How does this look?
Well, you moved it, didn't you? Didn't you wiggle it?
Yeah. Okay.
I would go 5 definitely.
Okay, 5.
And here we got 6.
Yeah, definitely.
That's not bad. But this one, and then we would leave 2. And so I guess at some point that for me to price this whole thing versus.
But okay. So what we are saying here is it's just 82 cents, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
it's around $1 a piece.
Okay. Okay.
And it's $25 worth of spindles, and to do these 4, if that's the only 4, we'll do 4.
Okay.
But my guess is you're going to pick a few down here.
Yep. Yep. So probably let's say there are like 10 of them that we want to replace, right?
Sure.
Right? Let's just make a guess, right?
10.
And probably 10 of those, right?
20.
Yeah,
okay.
Right. I'm not sure because.
Okay.
Yeah. So these things actually are really good.
Yeah.
So I would say like 16 of them. Okay.
Okay.
On total 16 of them. Right?
We're going to replace 16 balusters.
16. Yeah.
We're going to replace this 4x4.
4x4. Yeah.
We'll replace this top 2x4. What else?
And that's like a 10 foot, right? Yeah.
10 foot.
Yeah.
We'll buy 10 foot.
And then we'll actually replace this one too.
Okay. Let me get a measure on that guy.
Okay.
And gosh, it feels so much cooler to be hot. You know, if that makes any sense. So, all right. This is measuring 14 foot 4 inches, so we'd have to have a 16 foot board.
Okay.
All right, that's a 16 foot 2x4. Okay. And what else could we do for you?
Okay, so and then we said obviously we are going to replace this one, right? Okay, how much are we talking about with respect to planks?
50 cents per linear foot is what we pay.
Okay.
For number 2 grade. $1 per linear foot for number 1 grade. The difference is some knots. And I would say that in this situation, I would buy number 2.
Number 2, okay.
It's roughly 50 cents. So if that length is 14 to replace a whole board, is $8 plus tax, probably, estimate.
So 50 cents per foot, right? Okay.
Well, budget $10 per board.
Okay, okay.
And that makes the math easy.
Okay, okay, okay. And how big are? So obviously it's a 4. Probably it's like a 3/4. Is that what it is?
Well, this board is it's called a 5/4 because it's a true inch thick.
Okay.
And that's the thickness component. The width component is 6 inches, so it's a true 5.5.
Okay.
And let's see if those numbers hold. They should be.
Yeah, 6 inches. Okay.
All right. So it's they call it a 1/6 or a 5/4 by 6.
5/4.
So obviously you would want one of them.
5/4. What is it?
Sorry.
You said 5/4 by 6.
5/4.
Okay.
That's the carpenter's term.
Okay. Okay. So it's not 5/4 is not more than 1 inch, right?
Right. Keep in mind now that they use the word because you buy a 2x4. Okay. The reason they call it a 2x4 is the pre-milled size.
Okay.
It should be 3.5, and when they put it through the mill, this piece of wood measured 4. But they took a 1/4 inch off each side. And the 2 is 1.5 inches. They took a 1/4 inch off each side when they ran it through the mill. to make it straight, or as straight as they could.
Okay. So we
a
get
five, a 5/4 is a true inch.
Ah, okay.
And 1 by 6 is 3/4 by 5.5.
That's too much to digest. But
that's fine.
Okay. But when you actually get a 2x4, is it actually this length, or do you actually cut it?
No, it measures 3.5 by 1.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But really, you pick your decking boards, and I'll email a quote to you.
Okay. Perfect.
And obviously we have one.
Obviously this one, right?
Yeah.
And then obviously I was thinking obviously this one, because it's actually coming off.
Two.
Right? And what do you suggest, right? We are looking at probably $10, right? $10 a piece.
$10 a piece is the material cost. I'll get you a quote for everything, lumber, material component. The reason we separate materials from labor is I don't want to pay sales tax.
Okay.
It's really hard to account for it, and I don't like dealing with that.
Okay.
So, you know, I know the math, but let's do a count anyway. At 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 boards. So if you do the whole deck, it's $210. And you know that's something that you consider because of your break even. So that, not that I would warrant that, but
when you say break even, probably if I actually sell it off because it's going to be a new deck, is that what you are looking?
Well, a lot of it depends upon exactly that, what you're going to do, how long you'll be here.
Okay. Okay, so tell you the truth, I'm looking at probably I'm going to stay here for probably less than a year and then rent it out. Okay.
Then my question to you is, if you walk out here and you look at this, well, if you're going to rent,
I want it to be perfect. Yeah.
If you're going to rent, you replace 2 boards.
Okay.
You don't replace them all.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a different mentality. You spend less for a rental.
Okay. Okay. But
if you're going to sell it, you look at it a little different.
Okay, but okay. So obviously, right now there are a few cracks, right? So for example, this one I want to replace definitely because it's actually coming out. Right? Obviously, this one I want to come.
2, 3.
3, right?
Right.
And the last one, I'm not sure. I think we should actually replace it, right?
Okay.
Because there is a huge crack there.
4.
Not sure.
Okay.
Right. So 4. Probably I might actually. I don't know. It's actually. Okay. Others look okay, but I might actually choose one more. I'm not sure, but we're talking about either 4 or 5.
The mentality is A or B. One is do only what's necessary, minimum, or refurbish a lot, make it the whole thing pretty.
Okay.
And only you can choose. Because I think you mentioned roughly 16.
But ask you a question, right? So I'm thinking about renting the place probably in less than a year, right?
Right.
Obviously, if there is a problem and I have to replace one of the planks, I'm going to ask someone to actually come over, and that's going to cost me a lot, right? I don't know, someone just to actually come and then replace one of the boards.
Right.
So that's one of the things that I'm actually trying to gauge on whether I should actually replace the whole thing or whether I should actually replace only a few boards. So, but I guess like I need to actually make the decision. So right now, let's actually just get a quote for 4 boards.
What I'll do is give you a quote for both.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good.
And I'm going to give you a quote to take all the rail off.
Okay.
All the spindles. I want to leave that because that's expensive.
Yep, okay.
And I don't want to do expensive things if you're going to rent. And this is firm to the touch. And I'm not trying to push it over, but I'm trying to apply light pressure.
Okay, and is there something that we can actually do to even reduce this shake? Because, okay, so this is what happened, right? So basically it was not like this.
Right.
It was actually leaning a little bit forward. Away.
Right.
So what we did was we actually pulled it and then put some support right at the bottom.
Sure, I agree. And I will tell you that this is a big sail.
Okay.
And the wind will push this violently.
Okay.
And it's probably as good as you can get it without adding more gap between that so that air passes through, or putting a lattice here instead of a board. But it's nice, it's fine, leave it alone. It's okay. It's my advice.
No, should we actually put one more down there? Just a question.
I think it's okay.
Okay.
I would let it go because that's going to make it hard to get to the decking lumber.
Okay.
And when you start working on the decking lumber stuff, you've got an issue with this post being on top of a piece of lumber. you know, these posts are on top of a piece of lumber.
Uh-huh.
So, and you know, these
Uh-huh.
being on top, so that
so if we have to replace it, then it becomes difficult.
It does.
Okay.
Because I want to get that lumber out from underneath this post.
Okay.
And you know, get the lumber out from underneath this post. And you got one back here in the corner too, and the difficulty level dramatically increases.
Okay.
So, you know, let's look at that as I provide a quote, and you can answer my question best by telling me that you want option A, B, or C.
Okay. Okay. And the same thing on the other side, if we can actually put that bolt in. So basically, there are no bolts on that side too.
Right.
So I guess like if you have a big ladder, long ladder, probably we can actually just put 3 bolts on all the 3 ends. Maybe we can actually just go down and I can actually show you what I'm talking about.
It might be best.
Okay.
Unless I can see. Now, which way do you want the boards to run? Vertical or horizontal?
Okay, which boards? Which board?
Well, the ones you want us to add.
Oh no, I was actually thinking whether we should add one here, right here.
I wouldn't.
Okay.
I mean, if you're asking my opinion, I think what you have is holding.
Okay. Okay. Then let's actually just leave it as is. Then the only thing I want to add is the bolt. Just I don't know. I don't know the one that you talked about. What's it? Galvanized bolt or something?
A 1/2 inch galvanized carriage bolt into 1,
2, 3,
and 3. I would agree.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay. So that's pretty much it.
Okay.
And obviously, I also want to have a quote for
clean and seal,
cleaning and then painting it. Yeah.
And it's a 12 by 14. Absolutely.
Yeah.
10 by 14. I'm sorry. 10 by 14. I got it. All right.